Amy Robinson, profession crowdsourcer.
Yes, I am a crowdsourcer. I help labs at MIT crowdsource research. Primarily, I'm working with Sebastian Sung's computational neuroscience lab, where we're building Iwire, a game to map the brain.
Okay. And your talk today was about crowdsourcing?
Yep, so my talk today was about crowdsourcing and how it can really help solve some of the biggest bottlenecks in the field of science. So we have so much access to information and new technologies, particularly in the world of neuroscience. Imaging has advanced rapidly, but we're not able to keep up with the amount of data that's generated. There just are not enough scientists in the world. So in order to make us move much faster, we need to engage the general public and let people help with research. It kind of has like a double benefit, right? Because we are able to make new discoveries faster, and it makes science a part of people's lives.
Yeah. And you're on MIT in Boston?
Yes.
And you discovered a 16-year-old Bulgarian scientist?
Yeah, so actually the top daily scoring player of all time on Iwire is a 16-year-old from Bulgaria. So shout out to Crazy Man, that's his username. And he actually, it's amazing, this one player catalyzes an amazing amount of gameplay from other players just by maxing out our scoreboards. So we really see the social dynamic, and we see players get competitive, and he actually launches challenges himself, and the players only like 2 weeks ago have started hacking features for the game that they wish that we would build, but that we haven't had time to implement. So, and it's only 5 months old. So we have 60,000 players from 100 countries, and we've only been around since December.
Okay, and what kind of play is it?
So what players are doing in Iwire is actually discovering missing branches of neurons. So the biggest bottleneck in this particular region of neuroscience is analyzing images. So we reconstruct neural networks so we can understand how the brain processes information. And this will sort of lead to understandings in perception, you know, the true neuroscience of learning, and things like miswirings that are associated with mental disorders. But to do this, we have to reconstruct cells in 3D. And it takes us about 50 hours to map one neuron, and that is very, very slow because there's 80 billion in the brain. So what people are doing in the game is coloring sort of in 3D through image data, and they're reconstructing cube by cube complete cells and complete neural networks. And then over time, the actions by the players are training an automated system that will make available to labs around the world. And this will radically increase the rate at which we're able to make new discoveries about the brain.
Okay, it's the CoE Intelligence, in fact, from people who even don't know each other.
Right. So people don't know each other. They get together from all over around the world, and you need no scientific experience. Like, you can be anyone. Our players range from high schoolers to retired people. Actually, some of our most prevalent players are high schoolers and college students. Yeah.
And what will happen to old school science?
Oh, well, it'll keep going. I think that the future of science, though, is going to necessarily figure out better ways to engage the general public. Because especially now that people have so much access to information, and kind of one of the greatest benefits of an industrialized world, right, is that we have more free time. So we can choose to watch TV, or we can choose to play games. We could choose to play games that help us make new scientific discoveries. And it does build a community. You know, these people spend a lot of time on Iwire, and they get to know each other. These players become friends. They've started actually their own player Facebook group where they can interact outside the game. It's amazing, and it's so new, and I'm very excited to see how it moves forward.
Yeah. So playing games is very good for the future of science. What will be your role in that?
My role in that? Well, I really hope that I can inspire researchers to figure out ways that we can help people. I hope that I can inspire researchers to come up with tools that allow people to be engaged on a more complex level. So right now, most of the games in science are for pretty much data analysis. But I think as we move forward, we'll figure out ways that people can play a more strategic role. So maybe they can help us figure out what statistics we should run on our data, or decipher new networks from these neurons, and maybe even determine how research will move forward. And I think also bringing lots of researchers together to build suites of games. So say, instead of just Iwire to map the brain, we had lots of researchers from lots of different universities and research institutes all building games that are related to neuroscience. And so then people could come into this platform and, you know, learn a lot about how the brain works, find their forte, right, their strength, whether it's mapping neurons or discovering, firing circuits in the brain, and then sort of level up to an advanced level of participation. So I am really passionate about bringing people together to work for common purpose. We live in a really amazing time where we have unprecedented opportunities for global collaboration, and I would love nothing more than with my life to bring people together to solve our greatest mysteries, i.e. the human mind.
Okay. Science is fun.
Science is fun. It's awesome. You got to have fun with it, right? Like, new knowledge is great.
Okay.